Welcome everyone to the official Money in the Bank review show. We've got hosts from Raw Talk and Talking Smack tonight because it is a joint brand pay-per-view. I'm Jack Rivers, joined by Casey Lane and Marcus King. What a show. Money in the Bank just delivered some wild moments, and we're breaking it all down.
Oh, I'm still catching my breath, man. This show had it all: ladders, chairs, briefcases flying, legends bleeding. It's been chaos in the best way possible.
And controversy too, don't forget that. Some matches ended with the kind of stuff that'll have X arguing all week.
You're not wrong. Let's get right into it, and I say we start with that Extreme Rules match between Randy Orton and The Undertaker.
Man, this one was brutal. Like, straight up 2000s throwback brutal. 2 minutes in, and Randy's already got the steel steps in his hands, and from there, he just controlled the match.
Yeah, Orton was obsessed with those steps. I don't know if he thought they were gonna win him the match or something, but that obsession definitely cost him in the end.
Exactly. The match was all Randy early on, RKO, near fall, total dominance. But the turning point was when Undertaker reversed him with those same steps. That's where Orton's arrogance bit him.
And then Taker just snapped. He beat Orton down with those steps, took it outside, grabbed a bat, and just went to town. This man was on demon time.
He needed that. This whole feud was about Orton disrespecting the darkness, mocking the legend, and he paid for it. That last ride at the end, poetic.
It felt like the exclamation point. I think this feud's done. Undertaker moves on, maybe to a world title picture, and Orton. He's got something brewing with Carmelo Hayes and Triple H. You can feel it coming.
Yeah, there's a storm coming with that one for sure.
Okay, now let's talk about the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. This might have been the most unpredictable one.
Unpredictable but awesome. You had Raquel Rodriguez, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Cora Jade, Liv Morgan, and Piper Niven, stacked lineup.
Raquel looked like an absolute monster again. She's been on a roll since that fatal four-way at Hell in a Cell. Every time someone stepped to her tonight, she just flattened them, and that spot where she suplexed Cora Jade off the ladder. That was crazy. And speaking of Cora Jade, she really impressed me tonight. She had heart, went toe-to-toe with Bianca Belair and Raquel Rodriguez without hesitation.
Facts, and she took that card like a champ. Bianca was so close to winning. She had the match in her hands, but that DDT on the ladder changed everything.
But man, Alexa Bliss, sneaky, clever Alexa Bliss, stealing the briefcase at the end. Genius move.
And now Alexa Bliss is Ms. Money in the Bank. I actually like it. She's got that perfect mix of unpredictability and experience. Every time she's around, you feel like something could happen.
I'm hyped for the cash-in. You just know it's gonna come out of nowhere.
Speaking of women's gold, let's talk about the Raw Women's Championship. Bayley vs. AJ Lee was chaos in the best and worst way.
Oh man, this match had everything. Good wrestling, great story, and so much damage control interference.
Interference is putting it lightly. Asuka distracting the ref, Dakota Kai throwing AJ into the steps. This was basically a 4-on-1 match.
Yeah, and let's not forget Io Sky pretending to faint. That was wild. I had to rewind that. She faked her own death so the ref would get distracted while AJ Lee had Bayley in the Black Widow and Bayley was tapping out, but the ref didn't see it.
I was crying laughing, bro. Like, Io Sky should win an Oscar for that. But in all seriousness, that was cheap. AJ Lee should have retained.
Exactly. The ref missed the tap out, and Bayley capitalized AJ Lee's shock with a Bayley to belly off the top rope, and then a rose plant to take the title. Disgraceful. AJ Lee was robbed.
I agree. Damage control ran the table tonight, and that can't go unchecked. AJ Lee deserves a rematch tomorrow night on Raw, but for now Bayley is the new Raw Women's Championship.
Okay, real quick, LA Knight vs. Axiom. It was solid, short, to the point.
Yeah, Axiom showed out. Really athletic, some flashy moves. He just ran into a guy who's too hot right now.
Exactly. LA Knight needed this defense. Nothing crazy, but it keeps his title reign strong, and a win against other mid-card wrestlers adds legitimacy to any mid-card reign.
Yeah, could have been on SmackDown next week. It didn't really feel like a pay-per-view match, especially with them only having 5 minutes, but hey, a win's a win.
Now this one, underrated gen, Ricochet and Strowman vs. DIY. I had questions going into this about we are seeing this for a third time this month, and I am pleased to say I am happy we did get this match.
DIY came in with the right game plan, isolate Ricochet, avoid Braun. And for a while, it worked.
Until it didn't. Braun got tagged in and started wrecking people. Powerbomb to Ciampa outside, running power slam, chaos everywhere.
And then that ending Ricochet with the peel kick, Brown clears house, Gargano's left alone and gets pinned. Clean win, DIY gave it everything, but I think that's their last shot for a while. Heavy cruisers are too in sync right now, and DIY have had more than enough opportunities.
Now this was the match I was most looking forward to, coming into tonight. Bron Breakker vs Shinsuke Nakamura in a Falls Count Anywhere match. No rules, just chaos, and a perfect way to close that feud.
Yeah, Shinsuke came in taped up after that beating from Bron Breakker last night on SmackDown, but he still brought it. You could tell he was using every bit of experience to outsmart Bron early on, when Bron was not really used to the environment of being at a pay-per-view. But once Bron found his rhythm, forget it. The speed, the power, he just bulldozed through Shinsuke. The man's a tank.
He's scary good. You could tell Shinsuke was trying to rely on the chair shots and experience, but it wasn't enough. That final spear into the pin, that's a statement win.
For sure, Shinsuke looked great too, but Bron Breakker just feels like the future. I'd love to see him go for the US title next.
Yeah, I think that's where he's headed. A little more experience, a few big wins, his championship ready.
Tag team action next, this time on the Raw side, triple threat tornado style.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were as good as ever. They go back a long time, and it shows. The chemistry between those two is unreal. But you've got to give props to Los Lotharios, they brought something different to the match.
Yeah, their high-flying was wild. That suicide dive spot with Humberto and Kofi took both of them out for the finish.
And then Xavier Woods, alone against both KO and Sami, that was tough. You knew it was over once Sami hit the Helluva kick.
Good match overall, just overshadowed by the chaos elsewhere on the card. But Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's reign, still going strong.
Next was Becky Lynch vs. Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This was one of the best built-up feuds going into Money in the Bank. Short match, but solid. These two never miss, even in 8 minutes.
That's what you say. Yes, they put on a good match. But how does AJ Lee vs Bayley and the Raw Tag Team title match get more time than this match? This feud has been building for years and they have been going at each other the last 3 months. And this is how it ends. They should be getting more time. This is Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, for God's sake. Two of the biggest names in women's wrestling ever. I would even go as far to say, the biggest names in women's wrestling ever.
Yeah, they needed more time. Becky came out swinging and just overwhelmed Charlotte. I am glad though Becky Lynch retained the title. She is a great face of the SmackDown women's division. But I would like to see her face some new challengers now. Since she has won the title, all she has faced has been Charlotte and Rhea Ripley.
Alright, let's get into the match everyone's been talking about, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. This one had it all, chaos, heartbreak, and a finish nobody saw coming. 6 men, 1 briefcase, careers on the line. And right from the start, it was pure anarchy. Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre went right at each other before the bell even finished ringing, 2 veterans who both wanted that main event shot.
Yeah, Drew came in like a man possessed. He was throwing bodies like it was the Royal Rumble. Poor Dom tried to sneak up with a ladder early, and McIntyre just chucked him across the ring.
And then you've got Carmelo Hayes, making his first big-time main roster pay-per-view appearance. Dude looked born for this. Springboarding onto the ladder, drop-kicking Theory off it, then hitting that flying leg drop onto Drew, unreal.
Yeah, Melo brought that swagger, that I am him energy. The crowd was eating it up. But Theory, classic Theory, hung back, picked his spots, played the smart game early.
Until he got too cocky and tried to cut a promo mid-match. Bro literally climbed halfway up the ladder, started yelling, "This is my time," and Dragunov came flying out of nowhere with a forearm that nearly took his head off.
That was the story of Dragunov's night, right? He didn't care about the spectacle, he was just there to fight. Every hit looked like it broke a rib, and that one sequence, Dragunov and Seth trading chops on the ladder, that's gonna live on replay. You could feel those strikes through the screen.
Rollins, though, he was in his element. He controlled the pace, used the ladders like weapons, and pulled off that sunset flip powerbomb on Theory from the top of the ladder like Kalisto did in 2016. Crowd went insane.
But the craziest spot of the night, Dominic Mysterio, of all people. Dude climbed up to the top rope set between the ring and announcer's table, moonsaulted off it onto Dragunov, who was set up on a ladder, and they both went right through it. Crowd popped huge. For once, the guy didn't run, he actually risked his life out there.
That's the thing about Dom, he gets booed out of the building, but every time you think he's soft, he reminds you he can go.
Meanwhile, Drew was in full monster mode again, clearing house with ladders, hitting claymores left and right. He hit Dominic with one on the ladder that folded him in half.
There was a couple close tries too. Austin Theory found himself up there himself once until Carmelo met him at the top of the ladder, and Theory suplexed him off it.
That was the difference in this match though. Carmelo Hayes was always switched on, whenever someone tried getting their hands on the briefcase. Carmelo was there to stop them, and in the end that was how Hayes got his chance.
Oh yeah. Dominic was fingertips away. He was in the ring all alone and was so close. But then Seth Rollins and Melo rushed into the ring, and while Seth was trying to get Dominic down, Carmelo was climbing up the ladder on the other side. Seth got Dominic down. And suddenly, Melo had his hands on the briefcase. Drew McIntyre entered the ring then and tried climbing the ladder to stop him, but by the time he got to the top, Carmelo Hayes was already your new Mr. Money in the Bank.
With the small opening Carmelo Hayes had, he unhooks the briefcase. The crowd erupts. Melo don't miss isn't just a catchphrase anymore. It's a prophecy.
That's the beauty of this match. You had veterans, future world champs, pure chaos, and in the end, a new star got made. Match of the night contender, no question. Innovative spots, strong storytelling, and an ending that set up months of new rivalries. That's how you do a Money in the Bank match. You have to go and watch it for yourself. I'm sure the full match video is already out by now, so go check it out.
Couldn't have said it better. Carmelo Hayes, the new Mr. Money in the Bank. Get used to saying that because he's cashing in sooner than anyone expects. You heard it here first.
Now we go from maybe match of the night, definitely match of the night, and maybe even match of the year. The Rock vs. Kurt Angle for the Universal Championship, and after the disappointment of their payback match, they more than made up for it tonight.
Yeah, this was everything that first match wasn't. Technical. Fast-paced. Emotionally charged. You could tell from the opening lockup that both guys came in with something to prove.
Angle had The Rock scouted this time. Every punch, every hold, he had an answer. He went straight to what he does best, pure wrestling. Takedowns, suplexes, ankle picks. Rock couldn't find his rhythm early. But when Rock did find that opening, he pounced. Once he slowed the pace and got Angle off his game, he started stacking momentum. DDT, Samoan drop, spinebuster, the classics were landing clean.
It was a chess match. Every move got countered almost immediately. You'd think one guy had control, then boom, the other would pop right back up. It kept the energy up the entire time.
And those final 5 minutes. That's when it went from good to legendary. The moment Angle finally locked in the ankle lock, you could feel the crowd shift. That was the story from Payback, right? He couldn't get the ankle locked in there, but he did tonight.
Exactly. And Rock was trapped in the center of the ring, nowhere to go, but somehow he fought out of it. That's championship will right there.
Then out of nowhere, Rock hits a rock bottom, but Angle kicks out. And you can just see it on Rock's face, that. What do I have to do, look? That's when The Rock pulled out the sharpshooter. He was desperate. And Angle still found a way to escape. These two were just built different tonight.
Then they spill outside, brawling near the announce desk. Angle hits a rock bottom of his own, poetic payback. Throws Rock back in, 1, 2, kick out. Unreal.
The crowd was split, but what really caught my attention, The Rock was getting booed. You could feel that shift happening. People were starting to rally behind Angle.
And it made the ending hit even harder. Rock powers up, hits the spinebuster, and one final rock bottom. 1, 2, 3. The champ retains, but barely.
What a war. The kind of main event that reminds you why you love wrestling. Angle looked like a man ready to take the crown, but The Rock's resilience and love for the fans, even if he's not getting that love back from the fans at the moment, it carried him through.
You can say whatever you want about The Rock, but that was a champion's performance. Still, you have to think Angle's not done.
No doubt. He pushed Rock to his absolute limit. And hey, if The Rock's getting booed now, that might change how this story plays out going forward.
Incredible main event. Incredible show closer. The Rock retains, but Angle walks out a madman.
Overall, what a show. Great mix of storytelling, action, and chaos.
Yeah, few dodgy finishes, but I'm not mad at it. Money in the Bank always sets the tone for the summer, and this one did just that.
Couldn't agree more. New champions, new Mr. and Ms. Money in the Bank, and plenty of feuds ready to explode. We'll see what happens next week on Raw and SmackDown.
And you know Raw Talk and Talking Smack will be here to cover all of it.
Yes, do join me and Casey tomorrow night on Raw Talk. That's all for tonight. For Casey Lane and Marcus King, I'm Jack Rivers. Thanks for watching. See you next time.